What's up, everybody? So we're making another video. We had a survey last week. Still getting used to the whole being on camera thing, but figured I'd explain what we went through and what we did. And if we're gonna record our adventures, I guess I should get used to this. So last Wednesday, I met up with Amanda's dad, Mark. We went to the storage, got a bunch of stuff out of storage, whisker pole, a couple things for the boat, and went to the boat Wednesday evening. Stayed on the boat for my first time. Slept in the forward cabin, so I haven't slept in the main cabin yet, but soon to come. So we hung out, went over a couple of the systems and a couple of things that he needed to show me that evening, and went to bed, got up about 7, had coffee, and Randell, Sharpe, who did the survey, he showed up about 8:30 and didn't end up leaving until like 4:30. It's a super long but awesome process. Went through every single top, bottom, nut, bolt, every system, every compartment. He pulled out every single drawer, looked behind the drawers, looked everywhere. So I know the boat pretty well now. We started outside, went over all the main area in the helm, went through all the winches, looked at all the rigging. Still don't have the main mast up, the mizzen mast is up, so we looked at that and all the rigging for that. Went down, looked at all the hatches, all the seals for the hatches. Went around the outside of the boat, looked at all the running lights, all the rails, cables. Yeah, just looked around, looked at the hull. It's in the water now. They just did a haul out inspection in December, so they checked the whole bottom of the hull, and the whole bottom of the hull was redone then. Then we made our way inside. We started in the main salon. It's in the very middle center. Went through all the battery banks there, looked at what needed to be done. Moved up into the first cabin. I'm sorry, actually we started with the head, and that's the bathroom. It's pretty much complete, it just needs a little bit. Everything's there and brand new, everything pretty much needs to just be finished off. So that's a lot of work, but I can do all that myself. What else? We went through all the receipts, all the paperwork, down into the engine room, went through all the electrical in the engine room, went over the motor, engine, looked at all the refrigeration system, everything in so much depth. And then he did a survey, tells how much the boat's worth now, what it'll be worth when it's complete, and what like trade-in value for a similar boat would be today. Then he wrote a highly extensive to-do list for me on everything that needs to be finished and what needs to be done, which is pretty nice. So we started out, I had the camera with me, and I was like really involved, so like at first I didn't really know if I could like record and like help him and like digging in everything. But after like 5 minutes, I was gonna have a notepad to try to write everything down, but 5 minutes in, I was like, do you mind if I record this? Because there's no way I'm gonna be able to write all this down. And she's like, yeah, sure. So I took like 3 batteries. I took, I think, like 6 hours of video. Some of it I just like set on the counter just so I could hear what he was saying. But he took, as you'll see, and when wonderful Amanda edits this, he took extensive pictures and just explained everything. As soon as he realized I was like a kid, the family, gonna move on the boat and was mechanical and was gonna be doing all the work myself, he went into like a lot more detail about everything. It's a pretty cool process. So yeah, that's happening. I sent that to the loan place, the broker, and I gotta get insurance and apply for or get my name on the slip. It should be at the latest by Friday if everything goes smoothly. And yeah, after that, cut me a check, and Mark will be here hopefully mid next week, late next week, to give me the keys, and on to the next one. So based on all the work that needs to be done, there'll be plenty of footage of what to do and what not to do, I'm sure. So on to the next one. So obviously one of the main systems is the electrical system. We went through that. It's a 120 12 volt split system. Pretty much 90% of it, I would say, has been upgraded to 12 volt. It has 4 8D AGM batteries, 2 different battery banks. It needs to be finished, but for the most part, all the lights have been converted to LED. I need to add GFCIs in most areas. Need to do some wiring. There's a couple of spots where there's welding cable, and that's not code or not accepted. So I need to replace that. One of them goes up to the windlass, which is the anchor, the motor that runs the anchor, and then the other one is the main lines that come from the inverter up to the panel. So I also need to add in the panel. The panel has a 12 volt side and a 120 side. I need to redo some labeling and kind of color code things so that it's easy to figure out what to switch on when you're doing what. Like if you're hooked up to shore power, or if you're using inverter power and using the battery banks. I also need to add some solar and probably some wind generators. The batteries need to be in line with the fuse. There's no fuse in line from the charging system to the batteries at the moment, so I need to put fuses in between the batteries and the charging system. The 4th battery needs to be completed in parallel with the bank 2 battery in front of it. Yeah, everything's been switched over to like LED. Also, there's electronic winches that have been bought. I need to install those because all the winches right now are all manual. That'll be a fun little project. I have all the wiring diagrams in the book. So the electrical part is, I'm comfortable with that. Yeah, that's about it for electrical stuff. So once everything goes through and we do get the keys, first things I'll have to do is make sure that Amanda and babies are comfortable. So there's 2 heads, one in the main cabin and one in the forward main salon and main cabin. They're both brand new bathrooms, brand new sinks, countertops, all crazy awesome stuff. Mark definitely did not spare any expenses on anything, but everything needs to be, and the refrigerator. So for Amanda to be comfortable right off the bat, first things first, get the heads working, toilets, and the refrigerators. So the heads need just a little bit of plumbing done. The toilets are fresh or saltwater option. So you have a holding tank, and then you have a valve for discharge out in the ocean. When you're 3 miles offshore, you're allowed to just let it go right in the ocean. But when you're inshore, you have to put it in the holding tank and pump it, obviously. So do some plumbing for that. Everything's there. Just got to do some pipe work and get those up and running. And then the refrigerator, it has one main refrigerator to the left of the sink in the galley, and it has a deep freezer to the right side of the sink in the galley. 2 units, sea frost units, brand new. Everything's there, just the lines need to be hooked up, and I need to run wire to the panel for the power, electric, all electric, and hook that up, get those going, and then at least then she can be comfortable, and we can at least have a bathroom and refrigerators, and then I can start on other stuff. So that'll be the first project. So when we get to the boat and I start making video of me doing work, that'll be first.